Gonzaga Nation SI, Dan Dickau, Adam Morrison here to break down the semifinals of the WCC conference tournament. It's that time of the year, best time of year in my opinion. I don't know if Adam thinks the same. He may not. We'll find out. It's March Madness. Mo, you're in Las Vegas. I'm still in Spokane. At least it's nice weather here today. How was the flight down? Are you ready to go? Because there's nothing like March Madness in my opinion.
Yeah, flight was smooth, and it turns into Spokane South real quick down here for the WCC tournament, and should be a good game tomorrow with San Francisco.
Yeah, San Francisco, they have continued to impress me throughout the course of the year. You and I both have talked a number of times about Todd Golden, the job that he's done. They're in the semis. They're the 3 seed. It's very difficult. They're actually seed, but it's very difficult to beat a team 3 times in 1 year, especially when they're a team as talented as USF. When you look at what San Francisco brings to the table against Gonzaga, what's important in your eyes for Gonzaga to take care of?
Well, I think handling the guard play of Bouye and Shabazz is number one against a San Francisco team that likes to get up and down the floor and run a lot of ball screens. Last time we played them at their place, we went with kind of a center field or trapping ball screen situation where we haven't done all year, and it really bothered them. It just means you have to pre-rotate on the backside. So I think they did a good job of kind of slowing down Bouye and Shabazz. And then you got to guard the 3-point line. Todd Golden is an analytics coach. Effective field goal percentage is a big thing of his thought process, and that means shooting a lot of threes even early in the clock. So if you can guard them beyond the 3-point line, like I said, slow down their guards, you have a good chance to win. But if those guys can get going, they're a pretty good basketball team.
Yeah, they gave Gonzaga 2 good games. Granted, it was double-figure wins, but in particular, I think the first game, they were both 16-point wins, but they were both closer, I felt, than 16-point games. You mentioned Bouye. He got a dunk literally in the last 10 seconds of the game against BYU. Got a technical foul for kind of John with the BYU players. Do you agree with that? Do you not agree with that? I personally loved it because it showed the passion of Bouye, and Todd Golden actually said, heck yeah, I was all for it.
Yeah, no, I always would side on, protect your players. Maybe, especially in the media, I would back them but also I might say, hey man, maybe you don't do that next time, but also you don't want to take away edge from your guys. And then also you don't know what type of things were said to him during the game or throughout the season from BYU. So I always kind of give the benefit of the doubt to the player, especially a 5th-year senior like Bouye, who seems like a high character guy, captain of that team. So I kind of would let it go, and then just maybe say, hey, I'm going to back you, but let's not make a habit of this. Every time we get a win and you're getting technicals at the end of the game. But I like a player with an edge. You've played with guys, you had an edge as well. So to me, you'd kind of laugh it off, but you're like, all right, let's tone it down next time, but I'm not going to say it publicly.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm right there with you. And I love the fact that it was Bouye because, you could see how much it meant to him. Of course, of 5 years at USF, to me, that locked up an NCAA tournament bid where, you look at the Ken Palm in the US and the net ratings. If they don't make the tournament, we need to completely look again at how the tournament committee looks at things. But one thing we got to do, Adam, before we move on to talking about the second semifinals is you and I, we have a new sponsor that we can bring on board, and we can share a little bit more about it. We were going to do it at the top of the show, but we figured we wanted to get that USF talk a little bit in there first. It is Brick West, downtown Spokane on the west side of downtown. So they sent us a couple things to check out. One was the Brick by Brick India Ale. I tried one yesterday, pretty dang good. I know you can pick the yolks. Adam, have you tried this one before or any other Brick West offerings?
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to it.
Well, why don't I give a quick taste for you and let you know?
There you go. Have at it.
Not bad. Not bad. I'm sure I will be bringing a 6-pack into the next time we film in person in Spokane, but if you want to check out any of their great offerings, go to Brick West Brewing, downtown Spokane. We have the Brick by Brick here, but they've got a number of other craft brews that you can take. They've got a tasting room. Check them out. I know Adam and I will be there at some point in the very near future. So thanks to Brick West Brewing for being a supporter of Gonzaga Nation SI. Moving on with the second semifinal, it was Santa Clara beating the University of, it's Santa Clara facing St. Mary's. Santa Clara beat the University of Portland, which to me wasn't a surprise, even though University of Portland won. Before we get too far ahead, who do you see getting out of the Santa Clara St. Mary's matchup? Because I think obviously, and I'm sure you agree with it, Gonzaga is going to move past USF. So what do you look for in that title game?
I think St. Mary's was probably the easy pick, but Santa Clara has played really well of late, especially second half of the season. They got NBA talent on the wing. Bediako is good inside. They're decent on the perimeter. Obviously, Herb Sinnick's a good coach. I think they're an NIT team for sure. I think they have 20 wins now, so it's like they've already qualified for that aspect of being a for sure postseason team. So I would think St. Mary's toughness to slow them down is a little bit better, but I think Santa Clara would be playing with house money, and that's not trying to be funny being in Vegas, but they just have nothing to really lose. So I think St. Mary's wins, but it's a really close game.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think St. Mary's is going to win. I agree with you on the point that you made that you think Santa Clara is a NIT team. After BYU lost to USF, I can't imagine them slipping into the NCAA tournament. For a WCC fan and advocate like myself, I would like to see them, but they're trending around 54, 55 in the net. KenPom, they're going to need a lot of help come conference tournament week to make it. But I mean, if all things said and done, you got 3 WCC teams in the NCAAs, 2 in the NIT. That's a pretty darn good year.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, if it's 3 postseason teams or 4 postseason teams, it's going to be good. So we still got to wait to see the deal with San Francisco, assuming that Gonzaga wins, obviously, in the semifinal. But they're going to be really close to getting in. I think they're in, and that's not just a biased WCC thing. But if you really look at their strength of schedule and marquee wins, it's hard to be like, yeah, they're for sure in. So like I don't know. I think it's a coin flip to be honest. But for sure, St. Mary's, for sure, obviously Gonzaga, and then if USF handles business and beats Gonzaga, then they're in for sure. But I think those 2 other teams, Santa Clara and USF, like you mentioned, are postseason teams, whether it be NCAA or NIT, which is great for the league.
Yeah, it is great for the league. I know back when you played, it was a 1-bid league, and you would hope to get a second bid in, but there were many years it was 1 bid only, and so you had to definitely win the conference tournament, so you weren't sweating it out on Selection Sunday. Next thing we want to move to is we've got our question day, and this is brought to you by Northern Quest's tremendous bar and restaurant, Epic Sports Bar. The madness is here and bigger than ever at Epic Sports Bar with food and drink specials, prize giveaways, and more, all tournament long. Grab your bracket and post up at the best tournament spot in town. Details at northernquest.com. So we got another sponsor on board. They are sending a $25 gift card to our question of the day. So the Epic question of the day comes from Christian Pedersen, and it is, hey, Adam and Dan, with the tournament coming up, was there ever a game that you were nervous beforehand, or is playing in March nothing but fun? Thank you and love the show. I guess I'll let you answer first, Adam.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think you're always somewhat nervous before the game. Obviously, you understand the magnitude of that. So I think for me, I wasn't more nervous, but I understood the stakes. So, I guess I was more, my awareness of what the possibility of losing was higher, if that makes sense. So I didn't feel like I would play any differently. Obviously you're a little more locked in and you play harder per se. I think you're just more focused. So I don't think it's nervousness, but you're more focused and understanding that, it's obviously win or go home.
I think for me, I was able to be a part of five NCAA tournament teams, even though one of them was a redshirt year when I transferred over from UW to Gonzaga. To be honest with you, I think the most nervous I was a freshman because I really 100% didn't know what to expect yet. I had watched it on TV so many times as a kid growing up. I had wanted to play in it, and I wasn't a starter. And so, you're sitting on the bench when the first, 5, 6 minutes go by, and typically, I would be kind of the 10-minute mark in the first half would be when I normally go in. And so that first 5, 6, 7 minutes, I was nervous as heck sitting on the bench waiting for my turn. So I think it was a little bit of both. I think it was a little bit of nervousness. Fun, of course. I mean, you're playing basketball in one of the greatest sporting events in the world, but I think nervousness for me, which actually leads me to a question that I had that I was going to ask you. The WCC All League picks came out. I felt Rajir Bolton for Gonzaga was slighted. He didn't even make all conference first or second team. Did you feel that the same, or was another guy slighted?
Yeah, I think Rashir value is a little bit overlooked on this team, especially from the 3-point line and then his defensive ability. And then, obviously he's been a steady scorer for us at times. So yeah, I think there would be a definite case for him to, get on the all league team, or at least honorable mention or whatever, or first or second team. So there's always somebody that's got to get left off. It's unfortunate for him, but also like he knows the value of his role. And then also it's like, well, I'm on the number one team in the country and play, heavy minutes. So I'd rather have that than be second team all WCC or whatever, I'm sure.
Yeah, he's had a tremendous year, and the cool thing about him, if people that are listening to the show haven't seen or heard, is he's doing some tremendous things in the community.
Yeah.
He's giving back to youth in the area. He's helping out homeless shelters. I've gotten to know him a little bit. I don't know how much you've talked to him when you've been around the team with your radio work, but it's impressive what he's doing here in Spokane.
Yeah, he's doing the the Spokane quarantine team, I think it's called. It was started during the COVID years, where they would go out into businesses and either buy, go shopping there, and then it kind of evolved into obviously like service work for people, and so he's gotten involved with that, and it's pretty cool that he takes time out of his busy schedule to do that, and I'm glad he's gotten some pub for himself, but not only that and his that organization. So nice young man. We already knew that coming in, especially with transfers. I know it sounds funny. Same with the recruits. It's not just skills. It's like, is this kid going to fit in? And he definitely fits in, and it's, become a Zag.
Well, Adam, I know you're down in Vegas. I'm sure the poker tables or the craps table or the roulette's calling your name in some way, shape, or form.
No.
It's calling your name. I'm sure if I was down there, it would be calling my name. But we will catch up again after the DC, hopefully the conference title game. It's been I think 23 years in a row Gonzaga has been in the title game. So I would expect the next time we talk, we recap the title game. Hopefully it's a championship. I'm sure we both think that same, and preview and lead into Selection Sunday. So safe travels, and go Zags.